You're listening to The Ride to Work with Pastor Fred. Fuel for your faith before you clock in. Enjoy the ride.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining us today on this Friday, this Juneteenth Friday. Yes. We are so very happy that you have decided to join us. Those of you that are on your way to work, because I know some people, they ain't give you this holiday off. You going to work. So we wanted to make sure that we had a special episode for you on this day. Those of you that are in your cars, that are in your cubicles, in your offices, and maybe you're working from home, wherever you may be. Happy Juneteenth to each and every one of you. And I say that to all of you, no matter what color, uh, race, religion, all of that. Because Juneteenth not only just shaped this country for African American people, it changed this entire country for every living being. So we just are thankful for you joining us today and listening in. And thank you for sharing. We had a couple questions for Five for Friday, but we decided we put those questions on next week. So just wanted to do this Juneteenth episode. You know, we're still in the series week when we're talking about you praying for change, but you protect the habit. Today we want to talk about when freedom finally catches up. When it finally catches up. And it's just basically a spiritual reflection on liberation, on identity, and just being awakened to what's going on. Our base scripture is from Isaiah 61. And matter of fact, I jotted it down. I wanted to read it to you. I usually just tell you where to go and check it out, unless it's something I feel that I want to just read into your hearing, which is what I want to do this morning. Isaiah 61:1, it says, look, he has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives and the opening of the prison to those who are bound. We're talking about Israel, children of Israel, and we're talking about the Exodus from Egypt. That's what we're talking about this morning because, truth be told, it just kind of resembles Juneteenth and the situations that occur. And Juneteenth, it's a day that carries deep historical weight and even more so a deeper spiritual reflection if you honest about stuff. I mean, it reminds us that you can be free, or should I say freedom can be declared long before it was ever fully experienced. It does. That's why it resembles this Exodus from Egypt so much. And that's why we're talking about it. It can be declared. You can be declared free long before you ever even experience freedom. And it's just not in the history books. It's in human hearts. Let's jump right in. I mean, it's in human hearts. It's in our hearts like that sometimes. There are people listening right now who you are already free in Christ, but you're still living like you're waiting for permission to be free. Huh? So we're not just talking about history today. Yeah, it's Juneteenth, but we're not just talking about history. We're talking about identity. Talking about waking up. We're talking about the moment when you realizing you're free, it finally catches up to your awareness. It does. And Israel, the children of Israel in this story, is the perfect picture of Juneteenth in the spiritual sense. Because in Exodus, listen, God declared freedom long before Israel fully walked in it. Pharaoh didn't have the final word. God did. But even after being declared free, they still had to leave Egypt. They still had to cross the wilderness. They still had to unlearn slavery thinking. Freedom was announced, but it still had to be embraced. Listen to what I'm saying. First point I want to bring to you, freedom can be declared before it's ever discovered. What God has already released must still be received. That's about as plain as I can put it. Let me break it down for you. Listen, because I don't want to be real long in this episode. But listen, Israel, they were free. It was decreed that they were to be free before they were ever free in experience. Hear me when I say before they ever could experience, it was decreed that they were free. God told Moses, look, let my people go. Let my people go. Let them know. Tell them, you need to let my people go. Hmm? Those are the instructions that he gave Moses. This is what I need you to say. Let them go. But even after release was announced, mindset still had chains. Come on, let's walk through this. They still had chains in their mindset. This is where a lot of people struggle spiritually. You're forgiven but still guilty. You're delivered but you're still thinking like you're captive. Saved but you're still operating in fear. Huh? Freedom is not only about what God says over you, it's about what you believe about you. That's what it's about. Huh? Discovery that's a personal thing. That's a personal thing. Look, God divinely declared it, but discovering it, that's a personal thing. You've got to become aware of your transformation, aware of your change. It's not enough to be spoken over you and said. You have to be aware of it. You can be out of Egypt and still think like Egypt is in you. This is what was going on. Hmm? You got to be aware that I'm free. Know that I'm free. I'm free. I'm free. I don't have to be closed off like this anymore. I don't have to be captive to this level of thinking, this way of living. I don't have to be captive to this surrounding, to these people in my space, this type of individual to deal with. I'm free. I'm free. Just say it to yourself. I'm free. Maybe you need to just hear yourself say it. I'm free. Second thing I need you to understand, listen, look, slavery thinking outlasts slavery conditions. Wow. If you don't do anything else, all you have to do is there's a book called The Willie Lynch Letters. I advise you, just pick it up or go online, research it. It's called The Willie Lynch Letters. And just find out who Willie Lynch was. He was basically someone who trained their slave masters how to control their slaves. And the one thing, the overriding thing, the prevailing thing that he taught them, it was about mentality, the way that they think. That's what it was about. Slavery thinking outlasts slavery conditions. Look, chains can break instantly. They can. Chains, they may break instantly. But mm, thinking takes time to renew. It takes time. Look, when they left Egypt, Egypt didn't immediately leave them because even in freedom, they wanted to go back. They complained in the wilderness. They made captivity seem like it wasn't all that bad. And you know why that happens? Whew, come on, man. Because bondage, it's not just physical. Bondage is also psychological. That's why a lot of people sabotage new seasons that are due in their lives. It's not because they're still trapped. It's because they still think like they are. Mm? That's why. That's why. That's why. That's why. Juneteenth teaches us freedom delayed is still freedom real. It is. But awareness is what activates living free. It does. And like I said, because I don't want to skim over that because I think it's very important because someone referenced the book to me, the Willie Lynch Letters, and um, yeah, I guarantee if you read it, you will see why I'm telling you to read it, or should I say, requesting you, not telling you, but I'm requesting that you read it Because even if you read certain excerpts of it, not even in its entirety, but certain excerpts of it, you will see why this outline that I said, this topic that I just talked about, as far as slavery thinking outlasts slavery conditions, then you'll know why I did. You'll know why I did. Listen, let me move on, because mental renewal is required for spiritual freedom. The renewing of your mind, that's required for spiritual freedom. And I get it. I told you early on this week, familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar promise. It does. It feels safer. I'm used to it. I know what to expect. I'm uneasy when I don't know what's coming around the corner. I'm uneasy when I don't know what the next thing is going to be. Even though I'm expecting good, even though good is planned and promised for me, I'm just too used to the pain. I know what that's like. I don't know what freedom is like. I don't know what not having restrictions is like. But you have to shift your identity, because that's what transformation requires, a shift in identity. Look, physically, your body, you can leave captivity while your mind is still signing permission slips to go back. Like it was summer camp, like you just enjoyed it. You still trying to go back. But your mind has to be renewed. It has to be. That's what makes freedom last within you, a renewal of the mind, and it's essential to do that. Third thing I want to tell you, and I'm out of here, and this is important, and I wanted to culminate it with this because I just love saying it. Makes me feel good. God always finishes what he starts. Always. If God declared it, delay can't deny it. Make that your power statement today. Speak it over whatever it is in your life that you seem to be captive over, or have you captive, should I say, or in prison, or something that's coming up against you, that's challenging you, that you know is not of God. It's not something that God is trying to develop in you. It's not something that's going to make you grow. It's something that's trying to trip you up, something that's trying to curse you, something that's trying to wear you down. You just say, if God declared it, delay cannot deny it. I don't care how or who tries to stop it. It cannot be denied if God declared it. I just love saying that. Listen, let me go ahead and close. Look, Juneteenth, it's not a story of broken promises. That's not what it is. It's a story of just delayed realization. It's the best way I can put it. Just delayed realization. Mm? The truth was always true. The freedom that it was always real, but the timing and awareness, it had to catch up. It had to. And there are some people who don't want you free. And when we're talking about catching up, I mean, and we're talking about within those that are still operating like they're held captive. Because that's what was going on with Juneteenth. They still felt that they were enslaved. And they felt that way basically how others treated them. You see, you have to understand, once freedom hits, I used to say this thing before, it's called surviving freedom. And it's about people who grow up and they're you know being taken care of most of their life or whatever, and then all of a sudden they branch out on their own and they just really don't know how to function. They have to learn how to survive being free, which means you're gonna take some hits, you're gonna take some blows, because being free doesn't mean that you abstain from issues and problems and circumstances and people. You got to understand that, but it has to align. It's not that you're not free. Your awareness of it just has to line up. It just has to line up with what you are. And eventually, Israel, they reached the promised land. They did because God, told them they would. God is faithful and he committed to completion. He did that. And that's what's important. It is. I mean, some people interpret delay as denial, and it's not denial. It's not rejection. It's just development. Because when you know it, listen, those people that left Exodus, made mass exodus from Egypt, should I say? This is the interesting part and the concerning part about it. Of all of those people that left Egypt, you know how many of them walked in the promised land? I'm talking about the original people because they were in the wilderness for 40 years. So, they were copulating, they were having children and procreating, should I say, and all of that. They were doing all of that. They were multiplying. Because that was one of the problems when they were in Egypt. That's why Egypt had a problem. They say, look at here, they keep multiplying, whatever. There'll be too many of them, and then they'll have an army to wipe us out. Sound familiar? Huh? They'll get too great a number, and they'll be able to overtake us. Sound familiar? Just think about it. Anyway, but delay is not rejection. It's development. That's what it is. God's timing includes preparation. It does. And it's a process to be free. It is. But you've got to learn to endure the process. You have to. God doesn't abandon declaration. He completes them, but it's through a process. And you have to learn to endure the process. What God starts, he finishes. Even if it takes time. But he's still gonna finish. He's still gonna finish. I'll say this and I'm done. Imagine somebody just being told that they're free. Listen to what I'm saying now. But nobody comes to open the door. They're legally free, but still standing in captivity. That's what Juneteenth represents. That's what this day represents. And spiritually, that's what a lot of you out there, a lot of us, I'll include myself, a lot of us experience. I mean, it was already signed, it was already declared, it was already available. But we're still living like the door is locked, spiritually. So look, today is a reminder. It is. Listen, let me say this. Stop waiting for permission to live free. Just reminding you of this, some stuff. Stop asking God for what he already released. And stop walking, or should I say start walking in what has already been declared. Listen, I'm not becoming free. I'm awakening to the freedom that was already declared over my life. What God said about you is already finished. You've just got to learn to live like it and choose to live like it. I'm done. Happy Juneteenth to each and every one of you. Drive in freedom. Think in freedom. Walk in freedom. We'll be riding again next week. Enjoy your day. God bless.